Yo, yo, yo! What's going on? Back in the Celly pod, taking off. Where are we headed? About to find out. Anyway, I kind of had a little mental breakthrough last night where I was just thinking about the way I think and all these things, and I really came to this good conclusion. I think it's going to really help me, and I could take advantage of it in the future. So I really wanted to share that. And basically what it is like I noticed that sometimes I'm using my problem-solving brain, and sometimes I'm using like my thinking brain where I'm just thinking thoughts and I'm like coming up with ideas and things like that. And I noticed when I do different activities, sometimes those two types of thinking are kind of clashing and sometimes they're working in sync. And I kind of realized when those times are happening, and I'll get more into detail about that, but I wanted to explain how I came to that realization, or whatever you want to call it, because it was really interesting to me, and now I feel like I can really make progress, and it felt like my brain leveled up. I'm going next level with the brain waves, whatever. Anyway, so what happened was I like to make videos, and that's very creative process heavy. Like I have like especially when I make a mix, I'll just start with that example. It's like I have the song, I have to pick out the song, pick out the little dunks I do, and then sync them up and make it look good and make the timing right and things like that. So there's a lot that goes on, but I almost never have trouble with that. And anyway, with rapping, I don't even know why I like creating reps, but I really enjoy it. But that's for another thing to ponder, another time of just for the thinking brain to go off and try to figure out why I like creating that so much. Anyway, I really like creating lines and making the rhymes, no rhyme intended there, but also like picking the right song and capturing my mood and kind of like almost like a diary of my brain, what I'm thinking, and also making it sound good. I feel like all that coming together, making one like song, I guess it is really enjoyable for me. Anyway, that's another thought to think about. But the point is, a lot of times when I'm rapping, it's like a lot of times I feel like I'm struggling, and it's very few times that I feel like I'm just really in a good groove. And I'm like been trying to think about that lately, and that's where I'm getting at, is that lately I've been trying to think about like how to improve that, how to get myself in the right state when I want to write bars. But it's like been difficult, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Not a lot, but like more often than usual, and just trying to focus on it and trying to figure out what times, and just try to take note of when those times are that I feel like I'm just flowing and good ideas are coming, and they're coming, and I'm writing them down good, and they're fitting and things like that. And other times when it's not, and just trying to get into those states, or just throughout the day when I have those like urges to write something, or like the mood hits me and things like that. Just trying to take note of those feelings and like what I did previous and how I got to that spot and things like that. So yesterday, I think all that energy and focus to try to figure out how I got into that space, I think I finally got a little bit of some insight, and it happened in the shower. I always am thinking in the shower, and that's another thing I want to explore, is that I think like the water, like they always say it wakes you up, but I think I love being in the shower. It's just like a very like soothing feeling, and I'm always thinking like a crazy amount of thoughts in the shower. And I think it's because you can't really do anything. You kind of just stand there and you're just with your thoughts. Obviously you're cleansing the skin, but besides that, you're not really doing anything. There's no distractions, I guess. That's another thing I want to explore, but that's for another time. Anyway, I had the thought in my shower, and I realized that comparing the two creative process of the videos and the rapping, the videos, when I make the dunks, say I had a good dunk session, I want to make a mix later that night, all I gotta do is find a song. But as soon as I find that song, like this is the first thing I usually do, is find a good song that I like that will make my video hype. I just go for hypeness. It's pretty easy. It's like always one theme of just getting it super hype, usually. And then I already know the dunks I did. I know like the best ones, where I want to put the good one for the drop, where I want to like fit in some light ones or something like that, and just I already have the idea of what I want the video to look like. And then when it comes to making it and I have the song, all it is just putting the pieces in place, and I could just knock that out, and I almost never have trouble with that. But I've also been trying to make this little 2017 like hype video, motivational thing. I've talked about it a few times, and I've been struggling with that too. And yesterday I also figured out, this may be why I figured out the thing about the rapping, is that I kind of figured out a formula for what I want to make the video about, because I was going back and forth. Do I want to do like a recap? Do I want to film new clips? And I think I finally have the beginning, the middle, and the end of the video I want to like portray. So now it's just about executing those shots. I talked about the shots earlier, and another thing too, so it's kind of like the planning of the shots and then you go execute. But now I think I have the video, and it's like I'm not really struggling going back and forth, like do I want this, do I want that, no, that doesn't look good. It's kind of like now I just got to put the pieces in place and get it done. And so in the shower, I realized with the rapping is a lot of times I'm trying to do both at the same time. I'm trying to listen to the song, find out what like sounds and the way I should sound would sound the best for like that portion of the song, because a lot of times I just go by what sounds the best. Like for example, if there's a tune or like a speed up with the way I say things or slow it down the way I say things or just the rhythm the way I say things, I just think of the rhythm of the way I say it, and then I fill in the words later to match the rhythm that I want to use. But a lot of times I'm trying to do that, pick the rhythm while trying to pick the idea I'm trying to capture, and it's very difficult to do both at the same time. It's very difficult to pick the rhythm and pick the words to capture my thoughts. So a lot of times I'm like, for example, I'm getting the rhythm correct, but then I read it, or like I go back over, I'm like, that's not even what I want to say in this rap. This is like not the right theme of like the story I'm trying to tell or whatever's going on, or vice versa. Sometimes I have the right words. I'm like, oh, this is a really good line for this theme of the rap I'm going for, but this doesn't fit in this part of the song at all. Like this is the wrong rhythm. And I'm like, why am I doing that? Things like that. It's a little less, it was always a little less, what's the word? Clear, I guess, to me before last night, because I would have those struggles, but I didn't realize I was trying to do those things. But now I realize I was trying to kind of execute and I feel like what's it called? The putting the words in the rhythm without coming up with the ideas, just trying to make them fit in the song correctly. I feel like that's the problem solving aspect, and the coming up with the ideas and the way to capture what I'm saying is like the creative side. So I was trying to do both at once, and I didn't really realize that I was kind of clashing those two ideas and trying to use like both sides of my brain at once, and it was just very tough. So now I'm super excited because I feel like I can come up with the ideas first and then fit them in, or come up with how I want it to fit, then just kind of like go back and forth between the two sides of my brain, and I feel like I can work them together a lot more cohesively than fighting against each other, and I think it'll produce a lot more clarity in when I write lyrics and things like that. So I'm super excited for that. But I also just want to make it clear that it took a long time for me to figure that out, even though like I knew I was struggling and things like that. Now it seems very simple, but I guess because with the videos I didn't really have much trouble with mixes, and sometimes with the rapping I don't have trouble, so it's hard to pinpoint what I'm doing wrong, or it just seems like it's just a mental state that sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't. But I think there's details to it that matter and that really can affect the flow of like creating stuff and things like that. So going forward, I'm super excited just because, well, I still have a lot to learn and figure out, because I don't know if I should sort of pick the rhythm first. I think I should do that first, because a lot of times, I'm thinking about it now and I'm not really sure, but that's what I was doing before, is like sometimes I don't know if I should pick the rhythm first, pick the idea first, but I think I know the idea, so I should go with the rhythm first. That's why I started in the first place, because I have the idea. So I'll go with the rhythm first, then I got to figure out what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the point is, I'll be like more methodical and not try to go back and forth. I'll try to knock one out first, like not really try to do problem solving and creating at the same time. I think the idea is to pick one and kind of go with that part of my brain. Maybe I'm feeling one more than the other at the moment, whatever that is, but the point is pick one and then another and kind of go with that. Get one side done and then come back to the other, so that way they're not clashing and I could just keep making progress towards the end result. So I could get the rhythm down, then get the idea out, and then I know the idea and I know the rhythm, and then I just combine the two. So instead of trying to struggle between one or the other, I think you get the idea. That's the point. But it was pretty cool, and I really it really felt like I made a little breakthrough, because I kind of have like a more detailed plan of how to attack different things. And now I guess I would just try to figure out the times I'm feeling more one side than the other. So I'll try to figure out when I'm feeling more of like the execution side and just get it done, and when I have more ideas. And one of those times is definitely in the shower. I definitely have a lot of ideas, and I feel like it's great to take advantage of those times. So instead of just thinking in the shower, try to like focus on what you want to think about. Like say you have like a rap you're trying to make for me or something like that, or you have a video, you want to come up with a new video idea, whatever you're making. Maybe it's a new piece of art, I don't know, that you want to draw, and you don't know, you like have the urge to make something, but you don't know like what to choose to make. I feel like try to find those times that you're always coming up with creative ideas, and just go into that chamber and freaking focus on it, because that's one thing I have. So the shower is definitely one for me. I think driving is another one too. Maybe it's the same thing. I can't really do anything. I just have to focus on driving, but I can't really, no distractions. I think like sitting at my desk a lot of times is like, there's other things I can do. For example, like clean the house, make food. I need to get ready for tomorrow. I need to do my laundry. I need to organize my desk, or I need to do things I can do while I'm home. But there's sometimes where you just can't do those other tasks, so you're not as distracted, so the creative side can just flow. So that's pretty interesting to me. I don't know, I find that very interesting. And I'm really looking forward to this 2017 little video. I was going to make just a random motivational type hype video, but it's turning out that since it's the end of the year, I figured I could kind of make it not really a recap, but just kind of like use the new year as like I went hard this year and I learned a lot, and now it's time to just keep going full speed and keep going hard in all aspects. And that's what I'm trying to get at, and it's coming together. I'm looking forward to making it, and I just want to get it done now. I have a few days before the new year pops, but I don't really have any new year goals either. I mean, I just have constant goals always, but it's nothing really for like the end of the year. I don't know if that's I'm not really like that. Another thing I don't really know, I noticed about myself, my mom got me these whiteboards for the holidays that I can like write down all my to-dos and things like that. And last night I like wrote down on all 4 of them. There's like 4 squares, and I couldn't even it was hard for me to figure out what I needed to do. And I feel like trying to write things down that are useful, I kept saying that's not useful. That's only for like right now. This is too long term. This is too short term. And just writing them all out, I started to learn that by writing it out, I started to figure out what I actually need to write down, and what things are just needed to be in the back of my head or something like that. So I kind of separated into like the moment goals, short term and long term, and just try to keep things in the back of my mind that I need, but keep my focus on the things that I need to focus on, things like that. I don't really have any deadlines or things like that. I just constantly make progress. That's where I'm at right now. But I want to just grow all my different things that I enjoy. I want to try to grow them to just reach a bigger audience, because one thing I noticed is a lot of things I do that I have like crazy big goals for, like I want to even just change the world, like make people laugh and things like that, is part of the reason I want to succeed, is to prove to other people that they can succeed. Because if I'm able to, because it's weird, but I don't even, for me it's like still unbelievable, like I don't think it's possible, but by me getting to this point, I guess, like with success with dunking, that's one aspect that's possible. So if I'm inspiring other people to try to dunk and things like that, I want them to inspire me to do even bigger things. So for me to try to instill inspiration in other people to go after their crazy dreams, if I say like, oh wow, that person actually believes that they're going to achieve their dream, and even if they do, or if they're just chasing it, it makes me want to chase mine too. So even though I'm trying to inspire other people, by inspiring other people, it inspires me, because right now I'm like, it still seems impossible, a lot of things, but I just want to go as hard as I can and do as much as I can and try to think of anything is possible. And if I get other people thinking that, then it's like, oh, I'm not alone thinking that anything's possible, and it helps me inspire myself. So basically inspiring myself. No, but you get what I'm saying. It's just I'm trying to prove to you guys as well as prove to myself that these things are possible. So that's like kind of my motivation is. And that's the other thing about motivation, is a lot of people are always like stopping and starting things, but I feel like that's the hardest thing, is people just, if you were like, for example, eating healthy is hard for me. Not hard, I'm easily like I have really easy willpower. Like, I can stay away from the bad foods, but it's like because I have such bigger goals than just getting healthy. It's not just, I should lose weight or something. Like, I want to like do insane goals. Like, I want like a crazy vertical, and I want to have like crazy flexibility, and I want to do it for a long time and stay super healthy, and I want to never get sick, and I want to be able to just have the healthiest brain at all times, and have the most energy I can at all times, so I never have to take a sick day and just rest and lay in bed and sit there doing nothing and feel unproductive. It's like all these huge goals come down to all the little details, like eating healthy is one. So like when I go to eat like sweets, it's not just like, I could lose this pound, I could run another mile. It's like, it just one little detail that if you keep doing that, it leads to this huge giant goal that just makes me feel poorly, that I'm just not even helping myself achieve these insane goals. It's like, if I want these insane goals, I have to go as hard as I can, and to go as hard as I can, I need to do every aspect to 100%. And that's my way I think of things to do. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but the point is, certain things that seem like they're strict or like disciplined. I don't even have to try, because I have such crazy ideas that I want to pursue, that these little things are meaningless. And yes, I enjoy food. I go off sometimes. Christmas time, I had a ton of terrible food and sweets and things like that. But that's the whole point. Is like Anyway, I don't want to talk about fucking health. I always talk about stupid health. It's simple. Just eat healthy. It's not a big deal. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, another thing that was awesome that you guys should check out. Watch Planet Earth 2 already. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think I talked about it actually on the podcast, but it's on Netflix now. Everyone should have Netflix. Planet Earth 2 is unreal. I might have to rewatch it again, but it was so awesome. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. It's a short one, but it was an insightful one. I'll have another like random one probably soon if I think about it, but yeah, I hope that really helps. I look forward to making all these videos. I have a few days left to make that, so I'm going to try to knock it out by Sunday, I think it was, because that's the 31st. Hope you guys have a good New Year. Go nuts. What else? More podcasts coming very soon. What else is there? That's it. Rate and leave me some feedback. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Someone left a really, really nice feedback on my podcast a while back, and I mentioned them in like the story, like my Instagram story, whatever it was, but I didn't think to put it on the podcast. I just forgot about it. But I figured since they rated the podcast, I should definitely shout them out on the podcast. Let me see if I can find it right here. Oh, it's Laurel Bloom. I don't know if that's who that is or what that is. If that's a company, it sounds like a company sort of. But anyway, they gave me a really nice feedback and a 5-star rating, and I really appreciate that. So I wanted to say thanks, and that helps me out so much. So oh yeah, if you guys send me questions on Twitter, anything like that, use the hashtag SellyPod. And I'll definitely go check those out and shout you guys out. And just, it would be great to get some feedback and also just hear your thoughts and like anything else, because I'm doing a lot of this thinking on my own and getting these great insights just from my own brain. But it's definitely helpful when you have a lot of other people as a collective doing the same thing and trying to make progress, because they might have some insight that helped them, that you have no idea what their experiences are. That's what I love about all this, is the whole community of information is super empowering, and you get so much information so fast and from such a vast group of people that have so many different experiences. So that would be super awesome. So yeah, tweet the SellyPod hashtag. I would love, that'd be so cool if we can get that going, and I'll definitely check them out, and we'll keep this going. So this is about a 20-minute SellyPod ride, but I think I'm out. So I'll see you soon, and I look forward to more. See ya.